You're watching the Rotoscopers YouTube. My name is Chelsea Robson.
And I'm Morgan Stradling.
And today we're going to be talking about the 2-disc amazing Blu-ray edition of... Sorry, 3-disc amazing Blu-ray edition of Atlantis.
So Atlantis, the Lost Empire is the story about what happened to the city of Atlantis, the city that was supposedly swallowed up by the sea and lost forever. It follows Milo, who's sort of a professor explorer, and he goes along, he finds a gang of pals, and they go down to explore and discover the city. They happen to find it, and lots of great things happen there. Atlantis came out in 2001, and this was sort of the tail end of some of the okay Disney movies before they started getting really bad. Home on the Range. I remember being really excited for this movie when it came out in 2001. I remember buying the coloring book beforehand and basically spoiling myself with the story, just thinking this was going to be Disney's next big thing. And Disney also thought that too, because they were so excited for this movie, and it just didn't pan out. You know, Atlantis, while it is just an okay movie, it's nothing spectacular, maybe a little bit underrated. They kind of deviated from what they were doing at the time, and they got rid of all the songs completely.
Yeah.
So this movie kind of was inspired by a lot of the 50s and 60s adventure movies that the directors like to watch. You know, the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea meets Swiss Family Robinson. But it just, you know, for the audience today, really wasn't that good.
It really didn't pan out that well. And you think about it, like, as I'm watching this, I'm realizing, if I were a 6-year-old, I would have no idea what's going on. Really. At the very end, you get Kita, and she's the queen, or queen-to-be, the princess of this, you know, advanced society of the time, and she just, like, starts being taken up by this star that's just like, what? I still don't understand what this whole thing is, and so, I mean, there's just a lot of problems. There are some pretty decent extras on this film. We do have like a 2-hour documentary on how this whole thing was made, so like that's cool. You got director's commentary, all the normal things that you want to see on a good DVD, Blu-ray combo, that's pretty much there. Another cool thing that they have is actually how to speak Atlantean. This language is actually written by the man who created the language of Klingon, and so I really don't think he was paid that much to do it, because it really just seems like somebody just had a secret decoder ring and just said, okay, this symbol goes for this sound of this letter, so do that.
Yeah.
And
it's very coincidental that their language happens to match up exactly with our own.
I know, right? Ireland? Just change one letter. Iceland. What? And then there's actually a 2-minute deleted scene in there where it talks about where it has the Vikings coming in, and they actually lose the Shepherd's Journal, which really makes no sense whatsoever, because how are they learning this language? I mean, if they're speaking Viking,
one of those Nordic languages.
I don't remember which one. They're definitely not speaking English, and they just are translating this, and I'm like, how do you even know what the language, I don't know, it was ridiculous is really what it was.
One thing that I really liked, and this is sort of stupid, but I like that they included it, because let's be honest, we're going to talk about some other DVDs in future videos and they don't include anything.
Right.
But a section called Publicity, and this is basically where they include all the trailers that were used to promote this film. And it's cool, because it's kind of like you get to jump back in time and see, like, how did they promote this? What were their tactics? What did they do? And me being the marketing person, I like seeing that, and it's kind of cool because it's part of the film's history.
Okay, so the history on this, here's one thing about this movie. If you look at the cover, it's got, you know, the Atlantis, the Lost Empire, and it looks all pretty, but then it's off to the side. It's got very nondescriptly Atlantis, MILO'S RETURN.
At least they kept it in there, unlike Hunchback 2.
Yeah, that's true. The history on this is actually, it was supposed to be just a Saturday morning cartoon show. So, that's what you get.
Yeah, they took the first 3 episodes of this unfinished, unaired TV series, crammed them into a movie, and said, here you go! If it feels very episodic and confusing to you, it's because it is. It's episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3.
Kind of with extra scenes in between, just to kind of make them seem like they're the same.
We're not buying it.
No. Actually, I watched it, you know, surprisingly.
You watched it.
I did. And like looking at it in that context, if I were to watch this on Saturday morning, it would be acceptable. for a Saturday morning cartoon show. But for a movie, no, don't do it.
Like we said, Disney had really, really high hopes for Atlantis, and it just, no.
Wah, wah. So in conclusion, we are going to be so studious and say that this is, you know, one of those movies that if you don't have Atlantis and you like it, then go ahead and get it. But all in all, I'd say it's more of a rent it.
You're not missing out.
No.
So thanks for watching, guys. If you like our reviews, be sure to subscribe down at the bottom because we're going to be doing a lot of these for the Disney classics that come out and some of the other animated DVDs. We also do reviews of the new movies that come out, both animated and unanimated, or, you know, live action, as we like to call them. And so stay tuned for more amazing Disney, Pixar animation fun. Till next time,
we are the Rotoscopers.
So some of my favorite concept artists were the director, Chris Sanders. I really liked the stuff that he did. His style kind of meshes with me. And then James Baxter, you know, the old Disney guy who did Beauty and the Beast and, you know, lots of other classic Disney characters. His style I really like. So I kind of like the more cartoony concept sketches.
I personally enjoyed the foreword by Nicolas Cage. That was my personal favorite.
Hey, when you have Nicolas Cage, you might as well use him. So one of the pages that I really liked was this color and light page. I thought it was really cool because it showed you how they decided their color palette through the movie and how they lit things. It gave you a bird's eye view of the color palette for the whole entire movie, and I thought that was really awesome.
And there was one other page that I really caught my attention. It basically shows you the flow of like a movie studio and how it all comes together and who's in charge of what, and it was very informative. I'm like, I'm gonna be studying that someday.